I grew up in a low-income community. And so then I think about the system that we're in Arkansas and in the nation at large. Are the leaders in those systems leaders that their identities are wrapped up in equity? If that were the case, it'd be a little more urgent. I want to see some urgency, and that's why I'm at Baseline Academy.
Baseline is one school in one city, but it represents far too many of our communities.
See, I was born in 1941, and I saw the craziness around me then. It's the same craziness I see around me now. In my world, not too much has changed.
For me, as a person who made an incredible sacrifice as a teenager to endure what I endured, it's been very startling.
I thought that in a broader world, people would develop a consciousness of being a part of something bigger than themselves.
Well, for Black students, we're back to where we were a year or so before Martin Luther King was assassinated. It's not a story of progress, it's a story of total inequality of schooling.
Separate but equal never became the truth. So the idea that we can create equitable schools in a segregated society is a myth. Show me where it's happening. It's not happening anywhere.
And divided, we failed. At the height of school desegregation in 1988, the Black-white achievement gap was at its narrowest. Since then, the gap began to widen again.
So one has to believe one of two things. You either have to believe that there are hardly any intelligent Black and Latino kids, or in a country with a long history of racial caste, that we are simply remaking that racial caste in our schools.
Segregation is really, really corrosive in terms of giving lies to everybody. It lies to the outside world by saying these kids, because they haven't achieved enough, must not be competent.
Those who say it's not an issue, it's because they lack the will. They lack the will of Dwight Eisenhower, a Republican president, a general who's willing to send troops to Little Rock, Arkansas to require it. We haven't seen a leader with that kind of resolve in a long time.
Everybody will say, well, we don't mean for people to be apart. We're not doing it on purpose. Well, you might not be doing it on purpose, and you might be doing whatever you think is the best for your child, and I get that. But don't make that decision thinking that you're not having an impact on the whole. Take some responsibility for what happens to the whole.